Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. On the podcast, we talk often about different techniques that you can use to manifest your reality. We've discussed a variety of different techniques, but many of them are filtered through New Thought teachers. And we live in a sort of different age than what many of these teachers were teaching. Neville Goddard taught well how imagination creates reality, and one of his favorite techniques was the imaginal conversation, where you imagine having a conversation with someone that affirms whatever reality it is that you want to experience. So, for instance, if you wanted a new job, you would imagine having a conversation with your friend, and your friend congratulates you on your new job. And then you feel the feeling of them congratulating you, and you hear their voice. In several of Neville Goddard's lectures, he knew of one person in particular that could really hear somebody's voice very particularly. And in many ways, for me, that is one of the easiest ways to imagine, because I am good with sound and I can duplicate voices in my mind. But in this day and age, we need to change and update some of our imaginal activities. Something Neville Goddard really never talked about was texting and using your phone. And a lot of times, really joyous and happy events will happen when you receive a text. Oftentimes, you're trying to receive a text from a specific person, if it's a love relationship, or a person, if it's a business relationship, or an email that you get from someone that asks you if you would like to invest in something that you want to invest in. A lot of times, the key component to any manifestation in this day and age is an email or something to do with a computer screen. For instance, in the old days, you could imagine holding money in your hands or a check. Now, most of the time, people aren't using checks. They need to log into their computer and look at their computer screen. There is something that happens when we move away from our senses. It's purely visual. And I think a lot of people really struggle trying to manifest a text or an email. There are a number of wonderful videos on YouTube with some great influencers that discuss very powerful techniques. Nothing out of the ordinary, unusual. What I wanted to do is discuss what I have done and how it's worked for me. And at the end of this, give you a short little meditation, not too long, that you can do once a day in order for you to get the text or email that you want that confirms or manifests whatever you need. In many cases, it can be from a particular specific person, or it can be from a company or school or whatever it is. There are a variety of situations, and oftentimes it is a specific person that you need a text from. Now, before we talk about this, we got to understand we're not trying to manipulate anyone. We're not trying to read anybody's brain or infiltrate their consciousness in any way and force them to text you when they wouldn't otherwise text you. You have to come from a loving place in this, and you cannot go into this trying to manipulate anyone. In fact, I would say that you'll have better success if you can imagine receiving a text from someone in particular or better. Meaning, if you wanted to have a love relationship with somebody in particular, you can imagine them sending you that text. But you can also sort of imagine that it maybe comes from someone even better than that. And that might open up the universe to greater possibilities, and your manifestation may come to you much faster. But it does, in many cases, require you to be very specific as to who you're receiving the email or text from. Now, many of us have specific phone ringers that we use with our texts and phone calls. And we have pictures that we have with our texts, identifying the person that is texting us. So a lot of what we're doing is we're trying to imagine an event where we receive a text and it gives us a certain feeling or joy. It's easy to say, I want this text, but you must begin by going back to when you've received texts or emails in the past and how you truly felt. Oftentimes, it's not exactly what you think. Yes, in many cases, you get an email and you get super excited, but sometimes your response isn't exactly what you would think. There are some things that we can do to imagine a text or email in a wonderful way that are very powerful, and I would recommend that you do that. That's why I'm going to create this little meditation at the end here, so that you can use this and go into that perfect state that you want to go into, that will bring about that feeling and experience, and then let it go. But to go back to it, imagine you receive that text that confirms a new job that you want. I would say that you want to go into it as an actor and really analyze all the different thoughts and feelings, what time of day you might receive it, and how you would respond to it, what kind of thoughts that you were having with it. When Neville Goddard talked about the feeling is the secret, it's not just a feeling in your body of an emotion. The feeling is more than emotion. It is a combination of different feelings that you might have. In many of these cases, you will be holding a phone. So you imagine holding the phone in your hands. The feel of the phone, I would recommend that you can use your phone to manifest this. And I'll give that technique before I do the meditation. You can do the meditation with a phone, and it may enhance your ability to manifest whatever text it is that you want. This goes specifically to many people that want to manifest a certain amount of money, and what they do is imagine logging into their bank account, and they imagine doing the login. Maybe it auto logs in, or it has your username, typing in the username, then the process where it comes up, and then your immediate response when you see the amount in your account. Now, if you act super surprised that you receive the money in your account, that's not a realistic feeling, because you've gone through a process. Suddenly it comes to you. Do you want it to be a surprise? Would it be a surprise, or would it be satisfaction of something that you accomplished? Be more specific with it. It may not be the initial emotion that you think it is. If it's a text, what kind of emotion would you have? Would you be thinking about how to respond? What would you do? So the first thing that you want to do is to try to really write down and imagine what the experience is. Don't just tinker with it. Really think about it. You can do this in a couple of ways. There are some apps that you can use, like Text Story, or you can just use your phone and you can send yourself a text. Oftentimes it's easy to imagine that it's your text. When you send yourself a text, it sends itself twice. So you can go and delete it and then just imagine that you're receiving the text, and just do that little phase change where the text is coming from someone else. You see the words, you hold on to it, you imagine the feeling of receiving that text. That's something that you can do. On Text Story, the app is great. You can imagine a text conversation, and every once in a while you grab your phone. Oh, it looks like I got a text. You got a feeling. Where would that feeling be? Would it be in your solar plexus, or would it be in your heart? So for a lot of you, you may not have the same feeling that you think that you would have. So analyze how you would feel that. In the process of analyzing what feelings you would have, you're attracting. You're bringing up the feeling. The process of analyzing it, taking your time in analyzing it, understanding what it feels like. I would recommend, if you're waiting for a specific phone call or text, that you change the ringer tone or vibration tone specifically for that person, so that when you hear that tone in specific, then you know it's them. That way it will be easier for you to imagine the text message that you're getting being specifically from them. Have a good idea of whatever avatar that you're using for them, or profile picture that you're using for the text, so you know exactly what it looks like, how it would look on your phone, pulling it up and imagining what it looks like. hearing the sound of it, those are important things that will delineate that specific person that you're getting. Now, for some cases, it's just an email. And in that case, you wouldn't have a specific text. So you want to differentiate whether it's an email or a text. When you go about the process of imagining, it's the same as any other process. If you sit and do it for a few seconds, it may not work. Abraham says it takes 17 seconds to properly imagine, but in my case, 17 seconds in a theta level state. When doing manifestations or imaginings where you are involving other people that are involved in it, the best way for you to communicate on a mind level when imagining, because that's what you're doing. When you're imagining someone is doing something for you or with you or to you through a text or any other means, you are communicating with them on a mind level. There is a synchronization that is occurring. They studied this in Silva mind control and found that thoughts really were sent properly when people were in equivalent brainwave states. So we want to create a situation where we can imagine, and then we'll create the intention that this imaginal activity will work perfectly and also in the right time. And what you need to do is change the state of your mind so that it's in a alpha, and more importantly, maybe even a theta level of brainwave state. If you're in a beta level as you are normally, then it's harder to imagine. But your feeling that you're going to have, that your mind is going to be probably in a normal state. So you need to start out putting yourself in a relaxed state of mind with your brain waves at a certain state when you imagine this. So it's important to relax yourself properly, put yourself into a deeper level of meditation. The deeper, the more effective. So you can do some little energy exercises. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'll give you a short meditation at the end of this that you can use, or you can kind of create your own technique. In particular, it depends on the nature of the text that you're getting. If it's love related, then you might feel it in a certain part of your body. You might have certain kind of feelings and thoughts. And more importantly, you're going to think about how you're going to respond to that text. Don't just think about receiving the text, because your natural response will be, okay, I need to respond to this text. What am I going to say in response? So what you want to do in the process of understanding and imagining to practice for this meditation is text yourself responding to the text. Go through the process of receiving it, that feeling in your mind that I finally got the text that I wanted, and then going about responding to the text. What are you going to say? Are you going to try to schedule a meeting with them? Or you want to get them on the phone? What is exactly your response going to be? A lot of times people will imagine texts, but they don't properly imagine because they're not imagining the process that will be involved. Remember, when you want to create your reality through imagining, you're not just imagining a single moment or frame. You're imagining a sequence of frames occurring in a process or movement, meaning that you're imagining a process that's occurring. So you're going to get a text, then you're going to respond, and then you're going to have a feeling as you wait for it, and then you're going to respond again. And then you maybe will have an imaginal conversation afterwards with somebody, or you will text somebody that you have as a friend. Maybe you would want to say, hey, this person finally contacted me. I thought you'd like to know. And then they'll respond. If you can add these things to it, it's great. So spend a little time before you go about imagining, practicing what it would be like by using these apps. Type in the text, practice what it's like. Once you feel good about it, then you want to go about doing the meditation. But I recommend taking your time beforehand. Be careful because it's very powerful. Make sure that you really want this. I would also recommend that you don't imagine something that is negative in your text, meaning you don't imagine getting a text that somebody's been fired, or imagine getting a text that somebody's been injured or hurt. Many of you have been tempted to imagine these things when you have problems show up in your life and you imagine getting a text that person's been injured or hurt or whatever. Because when you imagine these things, that is an imagining for yourself. And you may manifest that for yourself in your own life. So the process that you want to go through if you want to do your own meditation is that you want to take some deep breaths. You want to bring your awareness through your body, just quickly, relaxing your body. Just be effortless in a feeling state, being for a few moments. When you do this, you slow down your brain waves, then you bring up your intention, and then you imagine. Because this is a pure visualization technique, check out my previous episodes on visualization, and they may help you to enhance this. For many people, visualizing can be a difficult thing. You're linking a visual occurrence that will happen to you with a feeling, and you're making it realistic enough, and you're integrating feelings in your body. So I recommend that if you have a phone, then you can use the phone as a prop in this meditation. You can bring it up and imagine that it's happening so you have the feeling of the phone in your hands. If it's easier for you without a phone, then do it. But I recommend if you have the phone, you can pick it up, you can look at it. Maybe you have a process. Maybe you have to log into your phone when something comes in. Maybe you get an alert on the top of your phone. Go through the process of what would happen if the text came in, what sort of a noise or alert that you would have. Then you're holding the phone in your hand. You go to the Messenger app, wherever it is. Maybe it's an Instagram message. Maybe it's a Twitter message. Where are you receiving the message? Go in and look at what it looks like to receive messages there, what it sounds like, all of the different things that you would need to do. Then, it's very important that you don't do this meditation over and over again. There is a very fine line between manifesting what you desire and wanting something desperately. If you place too much importance on this text or email that you're going to receive, you will never receive it, because you will put yourself in the energetic field of want. And that is not the field that you would be in if you received this text. If there's any sort of desperation, if there is a desire to do this over and over again, then you're pushing it away. You cannot come from a place of desperately wanting this person to text you. So before you do anything, you need to let it go, whatever it is, the deep desire. Acknowledging the desire means that it's possible in the multiverse that you can have this thing. But you can't let it overtake you, and you can't place so much importance on it that you create an imbalanced energy, which essentially just pushes you away from the thing that you want. It's the hardest part of imagining. It's the thing that I love about reality transurfing. It brings up the idea of importance. It's the thing that I needed to learn the most, that I struggled with the longest in my own manifestations, because if I wanted something, I desperately wanted it, and I would be willing to do a meditation like this 30 times. Of course, I would never, ever get anything that I tried to manifest when I did that. There's always a letting go process, something that Neville Goddard calls keeping the Sabbath. On the seventh day, God rested when he created the earth, and the reason he did at the end was that is the process of creation. You just let it go. You keep the Sabbath. So we want to sit down for a second and really go through the process of imagining what it's like to receive these text messages. Play the game of using your phone, sending yourself some messages, get the feeling of it, get the feeling in your heart, the excitement of it. Ask yourself the question, how would I feel if I received this text? Who would I want to contact? How would I respond to the person that is texting me? This part of the process is more important than the meditation. Once you do the meditation, you've done all the research, you have an idea of exactly what kind of message that you want to receive. You will find greater success if you don't make it a specific person. If it's a corporation, that's great. If it's an institution, that's even better. If it is a specific person, imagine it is that specific person or someone better along the same lines. If it is a love relationship, I get it. You want that one person to contact you, go for it. Imagine that specific person and the way we've put this together, it will work if you don't use too much energy of want in this process. But it's a guarantee that it'll work even better for you if you imagine this person or someone better. And I have found not making the text very specific can have and yield greater results. Imagine getting a text from someone saying, "Wow, I just think you're amazing and I would love to get a chance to meet you." It doesn't need to be from that specific person, but it can be from the best person that you can possibly imagine, and give the universe the chance to pick that specific person. But in many cases, this is not related to a love relationship. Many times people have a contractor that they work with in their business that they need to get a text from. "Hey, I got a new contract for you," or a new opportunity is offered through email or text that will completely transform their business. These are very similar. They're all the same. And at the same time, you're going to respond a little bit differently. And so it's important to spend a few moments really gathering exactly what you want this text message or email to say. So I would just pause it right here, write it out, experiment with it, play it out over and over, and then come back to this starting at this point. And I'll make sure to put a marker in the video so that you can go right to the meditation anytime you use this in the future. And you can use this meditation to put yourself in that perfect frame of mind and imagine the text that you want. Please do me a favor. Once you've tried this meditation and these techniques, put some comments. And I would love to hear your success stories. If it worked for you, if something didn't work for you, I want to know. Whenever we are experimenting with the imagination, we're always learning. And the more that we share with each other, the better we can get. And so I guarantee you, if everybody is willing to share their own techniques and experiences in manifesting a text, I can go back and utilize some of your techniques as well. These are the things that have worked for me. Imagining and receiving the text, going through a process of playing around with your phone so that you get text stories and texting yourself, seeing it in your hand, going through the process of imagining, being very specific with how you imagine what you see on the phone and all of the details. The sounds of it, the feelings of it, the pictures on your phone. Really narrowing those things down and then going through a process where I put myself in a deep meditative state and then I do the imagining. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes of time to imagine it, and that's really all you need. That gives you enough. You can do it within 17 to 20 seconds, even faster than that. But I have found giving you a couple minutes gives you enough time to lock yourself in on what it is and to add those extra little details in order to do that. Imagination creates reality. One thing that I've also found powerful is to consider the opposites. When you consider never receiving it, then you have this feeling that's sort of a fear that you have, and then you let it go. A lot of times, the reason that people struggle with this is that they're coming from a fear level when they say, "I really want this text from someone." But deep within that desire is a fear that the person will never text them. So as a very small part of this meditation, I'm going to allow you a space to release this fear that they don't respond or do not text you. That's all I'm doing. So you can also use this just for imagining something on your computer or your phone. And in any case, let me know if it works for you. So mark it here, and you can find a place to let go from the outside world for a few short moments. You can have your phone nearby if you would like to use it. Get comfortable. You can lie down or sit down, supported. Choose any position that's comfortable right now. Getting ready for this practice to manifest a text, email, or digital image. Make any choices you need to get as comfortable as possible. Check for any potential distractions. Maybe a wrinkle in your pants. Something wrong with the chair. Anything that might distract you from your practice. Adjust it now. Take a deep breath, slowing down your breath more than normal. 4 to 6 seconds, breathing in. Hold it for 4 to 6 seconds. And then breathe out. Continue this slow, deep breath. As you do, imagine that you're doing the breathing from your heart. Now bring awareness to your feet. Send a comforting message to your feet to relax, or simply send a feeling of ease. You can do this in any way that feels good to you. Sending awareness to the feet to release into ease, comfort, relaxation. And now sending a message or feeling to the legs to release and relax into ease, comfort, and tranquility. And now the hips and the back relaxing. Your arms, your shoulders, your jaw and forehead. Scan your whole body, making sure you're as comfortable as can be. If not, adjust in any way that you need. You're continuing to relax even more than before, feeling yourself settling in. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of any need to do. Right now, you are just being. Resting effortlessly in the comfort you've created. Not thinking, feeling. The body is relaxed. Your awareness continues on. Move awareness through your body. Start with awareness of the point between the eyebrows. Effortless awareness of the hollow of the throat. Passive awareness of the heart center. And the solar plexus. Moving to your navel. Moving your awareness to the tip of your tailbone and your perineum. Come back and rest your awareness at your heart center. Now become aware of the breath at the heart center. Notice on inhalation, expansion. And as you exhale, contraction. Watch the natural breath. Simply be aware. Expansion, contraction. Expansion, contraction. Now, with the intention to manifest a text, email, or digital image, take a moment to picture yourself near your phone. Perhaps you're holding your phone or it's resting next to you. Your phone vibrates or rings, alerting you to a text. If it is not something that an alert would come, imagine just reaching for your phone. And you reach for your phone and you feel your phone in your hands. Feel the weight of your phone where it touches your thumb and fingers. Bring your awareness to how you hold your phone in your hand. You now go through the process of opening your phone up. Maybe you need to put in a password into your phone. Maybe you've seen an alert on your phone. Whatever it is for your phone in specific, I want you to imagine properly in that way. Now you slide into the application that you're using where you receive this message or see this image. If it's a bank account you're looking at, you're logging into your bank account. If it's text, you go to your messages. If it's an email, you're going into your email account on your phone, if you do that. There's a feeling of expectation, as if you are aware that this is happening now and you've been expecting it. Feel this feeling of expectation and excitement. How would you be breathing? Would your heartbeat increase? How does it feel in your stomach? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Is there a sense of concern or worry? Whatever the natural feeling would be, bring it up in your body as you hold the phone, you're looking at the phone. If you have your phone next to you, you can grab the phone now and do this same thing. But I want you to imagine it. Go through the process of opening up your phone as you normally would and go into the app. But we're playing a wonderful game, and that is we're imagining. You're imagining going to your messages. You go to the messages. You may even hear the sound that's specific to the person that is texting you if you have a sound attached to their specific name. You go into your phone and you hear the sound. You have the excitement. You know they've contacted you. Maybe when you pull it up, you see their image and you see the message. Holding your phone, I want you to imagine the message that you want to receive. Seeing the message, how do you feel? Go through a few moments here to really imagine the whole process of what it would look like, how it would sound, and how you would feel. What your thought processes would be. Bring up all the tones of reality that you can. Now, for a few moments, I want you to look at your phone and I want you to imagine light going to your phone, going into your hands, and you can see this light increasing all around the phone as you hold it. Now breathe in, hold it for as long as you can, letting the energy flow through your hands into your phone, into the idea behind what you're manifesting. Suffuse this with light. Now let this go. For a few moments, I want you to bring up the fear that you might have of not receiving this message, this email, or seeing this image. Just for a moment, you imagine that you lost your job, you lost your money, you lost your relationship, whatever it is related to this text message that you don't get. Notice your heart center when you bring this up. Does it feel more open or closed? If you feel this feeling, this is the sensation of lack. Now I want you to imagine it just slipping away from your body and letting it go. Release this sensation entirely. Realize that you created this feeling and sensation and released it using only your mind. You have the ability to create any sensation, but this sensation may be deep down in your subconscious. You feel yourself bringing it up, you acknowledge the fear that you have, and you let it go. You may want to affirm right now, in whatever way possible, your deep desire and belief that you have received or will receive this text message. Now bring up the feeling again of receiving this message. Go through the whole process, bringing up all the tones of reality, holding your phone one more time. It feels good. Imagine that you have got the text that you wanted. Picture it vividly and notice the sensation. Notice your heart center. Does it feel more closed or open? Look within for a moment. Shifting from thinking to feeling again, be aware within, awareness of your ever-free soul, pure awareness. Ever free from the pairs of opposites, free from any external factors. An endless abundance of potential freedom and everlasting peace. You, the soul, are truly powerful, infinitely powerful. You are unlimited. You are eternal. Know with confidence in this moment that all that you imagine resides within you. This experience of receiving this text message already resides within you. Notice your heart expanding and take a moment to feel the sensation of an expanded, open heart working in conjunction with your mind to allow this experience to happen. Open to receive this experience. The more open, the more you can receive, letting go of any fear that you might have that it doesn't happen, with faith and trust in your imagination, without attachment, understanding that fear of loss contracts the heart. It closes the heart from receiving this experience that you want to experience. Keep it open. This openness of your heart comes from knowing you're already full, already infinitely loved, abundant, happy, lacking nothing. Feel the expansion. You are already abundant. You are already lucky. You have already experienced this. Opening your heart to receive with ease, intelligence, and healthy boundaries for well-being this experience or something better. Awareness of the heart center, opening and expanding. If you feel this love, this excitement, this power, the heart is expanded, open to receive even more. If you're simply hoping for this text, it means the feeling of lack is still present. The heart is closed and not open to receive. So take a moment to feel that you have already received this. Feel that you are already abundant. You are already loved as vividly as you can. Feeling loved and abundant with your heart open to receive. Now, if you like, with the incredible power of your words, you can declare out loud, I have received this text, in whatever way that you want to say it. Know that this thought has been recorded in your being and is already changing the course of your life. Bring awareness back to your heart center, back to your body. Feel your body peacefully resting. Notice the temperature of the space and the sounds. Take a few deep breaths and come back to yourself. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch or move your body in any way you like. You don't need to do this too often. Once a day is probably enough. But I'm so excited for you, and please let me know when you receive this text. I can't wait to hear your stories. And welcome to the Reality Revolution.